What does high score mean? New high score, is that bad? What does that mean? Should I break it?
Hello everyone and welcome to Veteran Gaming. I am Aaron. Today in Eternal Evolution could be an absolutely massive day. If you guys have been following my channel at all, you know that I have been begging, pleading, whining, whatever you want to call it, just praying the developers give us some kind of guild versus guild or something that will help keep guilds striving and keep the community strong. And we now have Guild Expedition. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my initial thoughts as I launch it. I haven't even clicked on it yet. I have no idea what's going on. I want to go ahead and give you my initial impression and kind of have a little bit of a discussion about what we're going to be doing. So, all right. Guild Expedition. The guild welcomes a new cycle and even stronger bosses. 1 to 8, reached 8. Okay, so other members of my guild have already pushed through, I guess? Not entirely sure what's going on. Yeah, it looks like it. We got some bosses down here. Alright, so let's see. In the Guild Expedition, players earn rewards by working with other members of the guild to defeat bosses and competing with other guilds to see who can reach the most expedition cycles. So it kind of seems like the guild hunt, only now there's a competition between guilds aspect, which is really what I was praying for, right? Like that, your guild wanting to compete against other guilds and pushing the players is really what we needed for the community to stay strong. You need some kind of competitive aspect. While a guild is involved in a guild expedition, the Chancellor cannot dissolve the guild. Well, that's good. Neither the Chancellor nor officials can remove members from the guild, and members cannot leave the guild. Okay, standard stuff. Cycle rules. When the event begins, all guilds will start in Expedition Cycle 1. Makes sense. Each cycle has a total of 4 bosses. Players need to defeat these bosses in turn. Guilds that defeat all bosses within the same cycle will advance to the next cycle. Again, seems a lot like Guild Hunt. You get a boss, you got to take it out before you get to the next one. In the expedition, the level and difficulty of bosses will increase, cycle count, boss type will not change. Alright, so same bosses, just more difficult. Again, a lot like Guild Hunt. Boss and exhaustion rules. Whenever a player challenges a boss, the boss will inherit the HP they had from the previous battle. Makes sense. Guild can keep challenging the boss till it is defeated, exactly like Guild Hunt. After a battle with the boss is settled, the heroes deployed in that battle will become exhausted until the end of the day. When the in-game clock ticks to the next day, status will be cleared. Exhausted heroes cannot be deployed in Guild Expedition battles. Okay, so you get to use a team, but you only get to use them once for that day. So, actually, the larger roster you have, it doesn't look like you have a minimum or a maximum amount of attempts on a specific boss. It just as deep as your roster is. So that really benefits players that have been playing a long time and have a deeper roster. Very interesting. Okay, elite hero rules. For each boss, there will be corresponding elite heroes. Elite heroes are not affected by exhaustion when challenging the corresponding boss. Well, that's interesting. So elite heroes like Cain, Falvea, Vegnus, looks like you can use them over and over again, which again just expands your roster and really helps out newer players because they're not going to have as many triple S's. Okay, if I'm reading that right. Example 1. Assume that there are 4 bosses from boss 1 to boss 4 in the event. The elite heroes corresponding to boss 1 are hero A and B, and the elite heroes corresponding to boss 2 are C and D. Suppose that the player first challenges boss 3 with 5 heroes from A to E, and heroes A and E are all exhausted after the battle. Suppose that the player can still challenge boss 1 on the same day. At this time, they can still deploy hero A and B, but cannot use heroes C and D. If the player challenges boss 2 on the same day instead, they can still deploy C and D, but not hero A and B. So yeah, it doesn't look like the elite heroes get exhausted, kind of like what I was mentioning. Example 2, assume that there are 4 bosses. The elite heroes corresponding to boss 1 are A and B, 2, C, and D. Assuming the player uses heroes A and B to challenge boss 1 and C and D, heroes A through D will not be exhausted for the day. Alright. Interesting dynamic. We'll make sure it's kind of working there. Alright. Expedition ranking rules. The Guild Expedition leaderboard ranks guilds by the number of cycles they have reached. If the cycles reached are the same, guilds are ranked by total damage dealt. If both the cycles' damage are the same, guilds are ranked by the time they achieve their total damage. Okay. Kind of interesting rule breaker, but whatever. Challenge ticket rules. Each day, player inventories are reset to 3 expedition tickets. Okay, so it doesn't matter totally on your roster. You do have a maximum number of attempts. Players who defeat the boss will receive 1 expedition ticket at the end of the battle. Interesting. So if you actually defeat the boss, you get an extra attempt. Huh, kind of strange. So it almost, your guild leaders might want to make sure your biggest rosters are taking an end hit at every boss, because if your, top 5 people can continue getting more expedition tickets, that's where the deeper roster will come into play. Because if you use those heroes, as long as they're not elite, they'll still be exhausted. But if you have a really big roster, like a lot of the whales, then maybe you knock out the boss so that you get another attempt because you have a deeper roster with more triple S heroes. Interesting. That'll be something for guild leaders to really keep track of if you really want to push top-end content, is who's actually taking out the boss to get that extra ticket. Reward rules. Players will receive a fixed challenge reward each time they challenge a boss. When a boss is defeated, all guild members will receive a fixed reward for defeating them. Members who have not challenged a boss will also receive the award. Okay, good. So you're getting rewards even if you didn't get an attack in, because if you have a maximum number of attacks, obviously you can only hit so many bosses, so that makes sense. Rewards will be distributed to all guild members according to guild ranking after the event ends. Okay, so it looks like big hitters will receive better rewards. Interesting. Alright, so we got Black Widow, Black Rose, Immortals up at 8, 7 for 6, HH Gaming. Okay. Interesting, interesting, interesting. What else we got here? Leaderboard. Guild member leaderboard. Okay, so it's going to give you how many challenge tickets. Looks like Jerry Hatrix here has taken out a couple of bosses because he's gotten 5. Cool. Alright. What else we got here? Stage mission. Alright, so you're going to get... Yeah, see, I haven't even done anything. I just opened this. But we're getting some rewards. Soul Potions and the Gene Breakthrough Cores. Okay. Gene Breakthrough Cores are always valuable. Soul Potions are kind of getting less so, but we'll see what else is going on. Alright, here's our rewards preview. So it looks like the Gene Modules and the Gene Breakthrough Cores. Okay. So more typical guild rewards. I don't really love the Gene Modules. But the Gene Breakthrough Cores are always, always, always useful. And challenge record, you can kind of look and see what's going on. And you can see numbers. Cool. So you can see kind of what works and what doesn't based on each boss if you're confused about what team works. Alright. Cool. So let's go ahead and just jump into the Thunder Dragon Cipher. Is this going to be the exact same as our Vanguards? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. And then here's your elite heroes that are not going to be exhausted, right? For each boss, there will be corresponding elite heroes. Elite heroes are not affected by exhaustion when challenging the corresponding boss. So, your new Samael and who is that? Ares? Yeah, Ares are not going to be exhausted. Okay, so I was assuming that it was elite heroes, non-triple S's, but it looks like triple S's will also be included in those elite heroes. It's more like special heroes. I don't know why they use the word elite, considering elite means something for heroes in the game. But I am not going to hit this because my Vanguards are trash. So let's see what the other ones are. We have the What's going on here? Got to go to a different one. So we have the Vanguard Dragon Cipher. What's the Twilight Bee? Summoner. Okay. That's probably, I think the Twilight Bees are in the Twilight Lands, which makes sense. Twilight Bee. Guardian Argo, I'm assuming that's going to be our Assassins. And Solanria, that's going to be Hunters. Yeah, okay, Hunters. So we have Hunters, we have Assassins, we have Summoners, and we have Vanguards. Interesting. All right. So it'll be kind of cool to see if the next guild expedition has like a tank hero in there or energy based. I assume that they're gonna bounce those bosses in and out. It's kind of a bummer that they don't have new bosses. These are kind of the same things, but I do love the competition aspect of it. Yeah, and it does have, so they did replace guild versus guild with the guild expedition here. Okay, so this is I don't know, we'll have to kind of see how it plays out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below, because I don't know how all this is going to play out yet, if it's going to be the engagement that the community has been looking for as far as competitive guild action. Let me know what you guys think, if you think it's just kind of a rewash, or if you think, hey, this is really, really going to help, and I love the way that this game mode looks like it's going to go. So let me know in the comments section down below, guys. Please make sure you're hitting the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss upcoming content. And as always, guys, have fun. Good luck.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.